Okay, like I said, I got a lot of work to do. Revelations come, and of course, this is the most important work. It's not about um how much I own, how much I got, how much I possess as far as material possessions, but it's more about spiritual possessions. So let me get right to it. In this video section or segment, I meant to say, is it's your fault or it's our fault. I ain't gonna say your because being inclusive is our fault as far as this country going down. Now a lot of people trying to blame somebody for it. And of course, people are quick to take a bullet before they admit they wrong. When the guilt or the fault is their own, is very few people who will actually step up and say, yeah, I'm wrong. And that right there shows true integrity when you can admit that you're wrong. But when you can't admit you're wrong, then it shows that you're still a child and that you still lack maturity and that you need some more growing up to do. But when you can, that is something that's noble and something that's of dignity when you can admit that you're wrong. So the downfall of this country is our fault, and I've been saying this to people and I've been teaching this, but I never posted it on here. But now I am, because not only did I've been speaking this already, a lot of stuff I've been speaking in advance and that been posting on the news later on, or that y'all been researching and finding for yourself. I ran into another newspaper article. Like I said, I've been collecting articles as the confirmation of what I've been speaking, and I'm sure y'all been seeing it too on the news and internet sources and wherever other places y'all can find. Okay, what does it say? America's national debt is your fault. And the date here is Thursday, May 19th, 2011. If you can see that. No, over here. Okay, scoot over. Yeah. Just let you know, this is a most recent paper. That's why I show you the date. America's national debt, your fault. Now, here we got two guys. One, Cal Thomas, is a conservative columnist, but if he's a conservative, more than likely a Republican. Bob Berkel is a liberal Democrat strategist. So we got Bob being a Democrat, Cal being a Republican. And basically they are having a discussion here. And when I saw this article, I knew I had to read it, because I'm like, wow, I've been teaching people this, that it's the people fault that this country falling apart. A lot of people don't want to admit it. They want to try to blame somebody, but it's your own fault. So I'm not gonna read this whole discussion here, but I circled and highlighted some key things that were said that stood out of their discussion, and those are the things I'm gonna read. But starting off with Cal. Cal said 2 recent polls reveal the country suffers from what psychiatry might characterize as mood swings. A recent USA Today Gallup poll found Americans are wary and divided about the medicine they might have to swallow in order to reduce government spending. This was confirmed in a New York Times/CBS News poll. Bob replies, "You're on to something. A Pew poll last month found that 65% wanted to slash the deficit with a combination of cuts in major programs and tax increases." But wait, there's more. That same poll found that Americans are unwilling to cut Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and education. So it's essentially, yes, we must cut major programs, just not that one, or that one, or that one, or you get the point. So mainly what they saying so far is that a lot of Americans here, American citizens, realize that they need to cut back in order to save this country, in order to try to fix the deficit. But that's the point that Bob was just making, is that yeah, they agree in that poll we do need to cut back, but not this one, not that one, not this one. So the main programs that need to be cut, the people don't want to let go. And who are those people? It's the people that's being lazy, that don't want to work, that don't want to earn the Medicaid, that don't want to earn the Medicare, Medicaid, same thing, Social Security and education. They don't want to earn it. They want these government grants, these government handouts, this welfare mentality. And if you cut the welfare and you cut the social programs, the deficit could be split in half. But most importantly, cut the war. You cut Libya, cut Afghan, cut Iraq, that would definitely help the deficit out in this country. Majorly. So not just these little programs on the side, but cut the war. Cut the war and you cut the deficit. But of course they're still going on, because in a dying country, when a country is dying, and that country energy or source that it runs off of is oil, well, the only option you got left is to go to war with the nation or the country that has the resources that your dying country need in order for your dying country to survive. Is go to war with the abundant country to take their abundance to bring into your own country to build your country back up. Kind of like the movie The Avatar. Ding. Okay, keep going here. Bob. Okay, let me see. Well, I'll read up all the way down to what I circle. Cal says, Americans like quick fixes and easy answers. We didn't get to a $14 trillion debt overnight, and it won't be solved overnight. Yet the public is finally starting to feel the debt pressure. Bob says, well, voters are a big part of the problem. I, for one, am getting tired of finding excuses for my fellow Americans who think they can make this country fiscally whole by cutting a few programs. Then Cal says about simply raising taxes to challenge your side version of it. Of course, raising taxes is going to increase the deficit. It's going to make things worse. Bob says, hey, despite your anti-tax rigidity, at least I'm willing to acknowledge that we have to cut away too. USA Today recently reported that about 18% of the nation's personal income comes from the government. Nearly $1 out of every $5. Yet, and here's what frustrates me. People are unwilling, apparently, to give any of it back to reduce the deficit. So, you see, it's on both ends. It's the people that has these raises or whatnot. Okay, quick explanation. Or quick teaching. Alright, you got jobs going overseas because a lot of people are lazy and want to get paid top dollar. They're not putting out the production like they need to. You got a failing economy, and the production not getting out, failing the economy because of the people overspending, don't want to save, spend. The spend helps to generate the economy, but you got to kind of put back as well. So being conservative more than being liberal. Yeah. So the jobs, see, that in a country where the economy failing, you got lazy employees and not putting out production like they're supposed to. So in order for our country to survive, let's ship jobs overseas where cheaper wages, pay cheaper wages, and make more profits. But now China being rattled by the earthquake not too long ago, Japan pretty much going underwater, so the overseas jobs are struggling as well, because that's mainly where it's going, to China or Japan. So now the companies have to migrate back over to America. So that's why there are more jobs available now, but not permanent paying jobs. You got more temporary jobs because they can't afford to pay the top dollar like they could at first. So that's why it's more temporary jobs than permanent hiring jobs, because of the economy is still struggling. So a lot of people don't want to take a pay cut. Of course, being at a company for so long and I finally making this amount of money, a lot of people being greedy, they really don't need no raise, but the ones that's not making as much as they making want to get a raise, and they feel they should get a raise too when they already making top pay. But some companies do top out rates, and some companies don't. But if every company had a top out rate, then that would kind of help jobs to stay in this country and keep companies from going overseas if every job had a top out rate. But if American citizens are not willing to accept top out rate jobs that stop at a certain pay, and they quitting left and right, trying to go here and go there, causing other jobs to go out of business, and the company that they depending on that doesn't have a top out rate, that steady increases as the company progress. When that company fails, the only option that the people have is to go back to the company that has top out rates. But now that company that went overseas, so by that company went overseas, now they stuck, now they jobless, or having no other choice but to work a temporary job that's paying less than the top out rate and paying less than the job they was at that was paying higher than the top out rate from the previous job. So now the jobs coming back overseas, but like I said, can't afford to give permanent hiring jobs, but only temporary jobs, paying out minimum wage because of the economy still struggling. So those who have your job positions now, no matter how stressful, no matter how frustrating you think your job may be, trust me, it's worth holding on to, and it's worth going through with in these times, because of what's going on in these times and how hard and difficult it is for people to find jobs. And our only jobs that are mostly available now are temporary jobs. So hey, if you're going through some stuff, trust me, it's worth it. It was gonna be hard times and stressful, but yeah. But just explaining that real quick. And it also in the scripture it says the meek shall inherit the earth. So I might gotta kind of expand on this, linking a video to this. But anywho, going back to Bob, it says, hey, despite your well, I already read that. Bob says, my point is the public can't have it both ways. On one hand, people complain about the deficit, but on the other hand, they won't give up one bleeping thing to make it happen. Okay, homeowners, will you give up your mortgage interest deductions? Rich seniors, how about passing on your Social Security check? Corn farmers in Iowa, enough with your ethanol subsidies. What happened to the idea of shared sacrifice? So just like I just explained about people being greedy, not want to work, people don't want top out rate job, people leave the top out rate job, go to the job that progresses annually or yearly, and that job fails. The top out rate jobs that went overseas, because a lot of people don't want to work for them because they got this top out rate, while people listening, oh man, you can get paid more over here, so they quit. And the company trying to survive go overseas, leaving people jobless. Only thing they got left is temp. Yeah, but I explained it about the companies coming back, giving opportunities for people to work, even though it's not top paying jobs. It is jobs and it is money in their pocket, and I'm gonna explain that a little bit. But time running out in this video, gonna definitely have to extend to get a little more in detail. But just wanted to read what Bob had to say. Now, Cal says the real problem is that too many people continue to put too much faith in government to solve the nation's problems. This would include some conservatives. We ought to be teaching the old-time virtues that best prepare someone to be able to stand on their own, make a living, and provide for their families. And that is so true. That's what I was just giving an example earlier, that a lot of people are lazy and they want government handouts and they don't want to work and earn anything. They feel that things should be given to them. And just like Cal said, we ought to be teaching the old time virtues that best prepare someone to be able to stand on their own, make a living, and provide for their families, instead of depending on the government. But gotta elaborate on this some more. Click next door.